The ship chosen for the mission was the Star Sails, a state-of-the-art vessel equipped with the latest in biotechnology and propulsion systems. The crew was handpicked by Lyra herself, a diverse group of experts in fields ranging from linguistics to quantum mechanics. As the Star Sails set out on its historic journey, the eyes of the entire human race were upon them. The fate of humanity, and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy, rested on the success of their mission. For months, the Star Sails traveled through the vast emptiness of space, its crew working tirelessly to prepare for the challenges that lay ahead. They studied the Anera language, familiarized themselves with their technology, and even conducted simulations of possible first contact scenarios. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the Star Sails arrived at its destination. The Anera system was a marvel to behold, a vast network of artificial structures orbiting a massive star. The structures were unlike anything the crew had ever seen, shimmering with an otherworldly light that seemed to defy the laws of physics. As the Star Sails approached the largest of the structures, a city that seemed to stretch on for miles, they were hailed by the Anera. The voice that came over the communication system was strange and alien, but also strangely familiar. It spoke in perfect English, welcoming the crew to the Anera system and inviting them to dock with the city. Lyra and her team were escorted to a vast chamber at the heart of the city, where they were greeted by a delegation of Anera representatives. The Anera were unlike any beings the humans had ever encountered, their bodies a strange fusion of organic and inorganic components. They moved with a grace and fluidity that seemed almost supernatural, and their eyes shone with an intelligence that was both ancient and unfathomable. Over the course of several days, Lyra and her team engaged in intensive negotiations with the Anera. They learned that the Anera saw themselves as the guardians of the galaxy, tasked with maintaining the delicate balance between the forces of life and death. They spoke of their advanced technologies, their ability to manipulate matter and energy on a cosmic scale, and their desire to share their knowledge with other civilizations. However, the negotiations took a sudden turn when the Anera revealed the true purpose of their invitation. They spoke of a great threat to the galaxy, an ancient and malevolent force known as the Viri. The Viri, they claimed, were a race of beings that fed on the very fabric of space and time, consuming entire stars and planets in their insatiable hunger. The Anera had been fighting the Viri for eons, using their advanced technologies to hold them at bay. However, they knew that they could not defeat the Viri alone. They needed the help of other civilizations, and they saw humanity as a potential ally in this cosmic struggle. Lyra and her team were stunned by this revelation. The idea of an alien threat on such a massive scale was almost too much to comprehend. Some of the crew members argued that humanity should not get involved, that the risk was too great. Others, however, saw it as an opportunity to prove themselves on a galactic stage, to show that humanity was ready to take its place among the great civilizations of the universe. As the negotiations continued, tensions began to rise within the Anera ranks. It became clear that not all of the Anera were in agreement about the alliance with humanity. Some saw it as a necessary step in the fight against the Viri, while others saw it as a betrayal of their ancient traditions and beliefs. Lyra found herself caught in the middle of this conflict, struggling to navigate the complex web of Anera politics and alliances. She knew that the fate of humanity, and perhaps the fate of the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. As the tensions reached a boiling point, Lyra made a bold decision. She proposed a plan to the Anera, a way to combine their advanced biotechnology with human ingenuity and resourcefulness. Together, she argued, they could create a new kind of weapon, a bioengineered shield that could protect the galaxy from the very threat. The plan was met with skepticism from both sides, but Lyra refused to back down. She knew that it was a risk, but it was a risk worth taking. With the help of her team and a small group of Anera allies, she began work on the shield. For months, they labored in secret, combining their knowledge and resources to create something that had never been seen before. The shield was a marvel of biotechnology, a living organism that could adapt and evolve to meet any threat. As the Viri threat grew closer, Lyra knew that time was running out. She called for a final meeting with the Anera leadership, hoping to convince them to join forces with humanity in the fight against the Viri. The meeting was tense, with both sides arguing fiercely for their positions. However, in the end, Lyra's passion and determination won out. The Anera agreed to join forces with humanity, and together they launched a massive offensive against the Viri. The battle was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Viri were a formidable foe, their ships and weapons far beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. However, with the help of the Anera biotechnology and the ingenuity of the human crew, they were able to hold their own. In the end, it was the bioengineered shield that turned the tide of the battle. The shield absorbed the Viri's attacks, growing stronger and more resilient with each blow. The Viri, unable to break through the shield, were forced to retreat, leaving the galaxy in peace once more. The victory was celebrated across the galaxy, with Lyra and her team hailed as heroes. The alliance between humanity and the Anera was stronger than ever, and together they set out to explore the mysteries of the universe. As the Star Sails prepared to embark on its next mission, Lyra looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of pride and purpose that she had never known before. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she also knew that humanity was ready for the challenge. With a smile on her face and a fire in her heart, Lyra set out to explore the vast expanse of the galaxy, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. She knew that, together with the Anera and the other great civilizations of the universe, humanity could achieve anything it set its mind to. And so, the story of Captain Lyra Wei and the Star Sails became a legend, a tale of courage and determination that would be told for generations to come. It was a reminder that, even in the darkest of times, hope and unity could light the way to a brighter future. As the Star Sails journeyed through the cosmos, Lyra and her crew encountered countless wonders and mysteries. They visited alien worlds, some teeming with life, others barren and lifeless. They made contact with new civilizations, some friendly and welcoming, others hostile and aggressive. Through it all, Lyra remained steadfast in her commitment to exploration and discovery. She knew that the universe was a vast and often dangerous place, but she also knew that it was filled with boundless opportunities for growth and understanding. As they traveled deeper into the galaxy, Lyra began to notice strange anomalies in the fabric of space and time. At first, she dismissed them as mere curiosities, but as they became more frequent and more pronounced, she knew that something was amiss. She consulted with the Anera, who confirmed her suspicions. The Viri, they told her, were not entirely defeated. They had merely retreated to lick their wounds and regroup. Now they were back, and they were stronger than ever. Lyra knew that she had to act fast. She rallied her crew and her allies, preparing for a final showdown with the Viri. She knew that the stakes were higher than ever before, and that the fate of the entire galaxy hung in the balance. As the Viri fleet approached, Lyra could feel the tension in the air. The bioengineered shield, which had served them so well in the previous battle, was still in place, but she knew that it would not be enough. They needed a new plan, a new strategy to defeat the Viri once and for all. In a flash of inspiration, Lyra realized what they had to do. The Viri, she knew, were not just consuming the energy of the stars and planets they destroyed. They were also consuming the very essence of life itself, the fundamental building blocks of the universe. To defeat them, they would need to turn their own weapons against them. Lyra proposed a daring plan. They would create a new kind of bioweapon, one that could target the Viri's essence and destroy them from within. The plan was met with skepticism and fear from some of her crew and allies, but Lyra remained resolute. She knew that it was a risk, but it was a risk they had to take. With the help of the Anera and the brightest minds from across the galaxy, they set to work on the bioweapon. It was a massive undertaking, requiring resources and expertise from dozens of different civilizations. As the Viri fleet drew closer, the pressure mounted. Lyra worked tirelessly, pushing herself and her team to the brink of exhaustion. She knew that every moment counted, and that the fate of the galaxy rested on their success. Finally, after weeks of nonstop work, the bioweapon was ready. Lyra gave the order to deploy it, watching with bated breath as it streaked towards the Viri fleet. In the far reaches of the galaxy, an insignificant blue speck orbited a medium-sized star. This speck, known to its inhabitants as Earth, had long been the cradle of humanity. For millennia, humans had gazed up at the stars, wondering if they were alone in the vast expanse of the universe. Little did they know that their question would soon be answered in a way they could never have imagined. The year was 2874, and humanity had made great strides in space exploration. They had established colonies on Mars, mined the asteroids, and even ventured to the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. However, their greatest discovery was yet to come. On the remote planet Helios, located in the outer reaches of the solar system. A team of scientists made a startling find. Hidden beneath the planet's icy surface were mysterious artifacts, unlike anything they had ever seen before. These artifacts were clearly not of human origin, and they emitted a strange energy signature that defied explanation. As the scientists studied the artifacts, they discovered that they were receiving a signal from deep space. The signal was weak, but it was clearly artificial in nature. It originated from the center of the galaxy, a region that had long been considered too far away for human exploration. The signal contained a wealth of information, encoded in a language that was unlike anything the scientists had ever encountered. It took months of intensive study and analysis, but eventually they were able to decipher its meaning. The signal spoke of a civilization known as the Onira, a race of beings that had achieved a level of technology and understanding far beyond anything humanity had ever dreamed of. The Onira were masters of biotechnology, able to manipulate the very essence of life itself. They had learned to harness the energy of the stars, using it to power their vast cities and spacecraft. The signal spoke of their desire to make contact with other intelligent life in the universe, and it invited humanity to join them in a grand alliance of civilizations. The news of the discovery sent shockwaves through human society. Some saw it as a threat, fearing that the Onira would seek to conquer or enslave humanity. Others saw it as an opportunity, a chance to learn from a more advanced civilization and to expand the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding. In the end, it was decided that a mission would be sent to make contact with the Onira. The task of leading this mission fell to Captain Lyra Wei, a brilliant and accomplished officer in the United Earth Space Fleet. Lyra was chosen for her exceptional skills in diplomacy, as well as her deep knowledge of xenobiology and astrophysics. The weapon struck the Viri ships with a blinding flash of light, and for a moment everything was still. Then, slowly at first, but with gathering speed, the Viri ships began to disintegrate, their essence unraveling and dissipating into the void. As the star sails ventured further into the uncharted regions of the galaxy, Lyra and her crew encountered a strange new phenomenon. It was a massive energy field, unlike anything they had ever seen before. It seemed to pulse and shimmer with an otherworldly light, and it was drawing the star sails towards it like a moth to a flame. Lyra was both fascinated and wary of this new discovery. She knew that it could hold untold secrets and wonders, but she also knew that it could be dangerous. She consulted with her crew and her allies, trying to determine the best course of action. Some urged caution, arguing that they should keep their distance from the energy field until they could learn more about it. Others, however, were eager to explore, to uncover the mysteries that lay within. In the end, Lyra made the decision to approach the energy field, but with great care and preparation. She ordered her crew to run every scan and analysis they could, to gather as much data as possible before they made any attempt to enter the field. As they drew closer, the energy field seemed to react to their presence. It began to pulse and swirl with greater intensity, as if it were alive and aware of their approach. Lyra and her crew watched in awe as tendrils of energy began to reach out towards the star sails, like the tentacles of some cosmic creature. They could feel the power emanating from the field, a power that seemed to transcend anything they had ever encountered before. And then, without warning, the star sails was pulled into the heart of the energy field. For a moment, everything went dark, and Lyra feared that they had made a terrible mistake. But then, as quickly as it had begun, the darkness lifted, and they found themselves in a strange new realm. It was a place of swirling colors and shifting shapes, a place where the laws of physics seemed to bend and twist in impossible ways. Lyra and her crew were both terrified and exhilarated by this new discovery. They knew that they were witnessing something truly extraordinary, something that could change the course of history. As they explored this strange new realm, they began to uncover its secrets. They discovered that the energy field was not just a random occurrence, but a deliberate creation of an ancient and powerful civilization. This civilization, which they came to know as the Architects, had constructed the energy field as a gateway to other dimensions, a means of transcending the limitations of physical reality. The Architects, it seemed, were a race of beings who had evolved beyond the need for physical bodies. They existed as pure energy, free to explore the infinite possibilities of the multiverse. Lyra and her crew were humbled by this revelation. They knew that they were in the presence of a power far greater than anything they had ever imagined. As they continued to explore the energy field, they made contact with the architects themselves. It was a strange and wondrous experience, communicating with beings of pure energy. The architects shared with them the secrets of the multiverse, the countless dimensions and realities that existed beyond the one they knew. They spoke of the great cycles of creation and destruction, the eternal dance of matter and energy. Lyra and her crew were forever changed by this encounter. They knew that they had glimpsed a truth that few in the galaxy would ever know, a truth that would forever alter the course of their lives. As they prepared to leave the energy field and return to their own dimension, the architects imparted one final message. They told Lyra that the fate of the galaxy and of all dimensions rested on the choices that she and her kind would make in the coming years. The architects warned of great challenges and dangers to come, of forces that would seek to unravel the very fabric of reality. They urged Lyra to be vigilant, to use the knowledge and power she had gained to protect the galaxy and all its inhabitants. With those final words, Lyra and her crew passed through the energy field once more, emerging back into the familiar realm of their own dimension. They knew that they had been forever changed by their encounter with the architects, and that the future of the galaxy now rested in their hands. As they charted a course back to Earth, Lyra reflected on all that had happened. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she also knew that they had the strength and the wisdom to face whatever challenges lay ahead. And so, as the star sails journeyed through the vast expanse of space, Lyra knew that they were not just explorers but guardians of the galaxy. They would continue to explore and discover, to push the boundaries of what was possible. But they would also stand watch, ready to defend the galaxy against any threat that might arise, for they knew that the fate of all dimensions, of all life, depended on their courage and their resolve, and they would not fail. Lyra and her crew watched in awe as the very fleet crumbled before their eyes. They had done it. They had defeated the greatest threat the galaxy had ever known. The celebration that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Civilizations from across the stars came together to honor Lyra and her crew, hailing them as the saviors of the universe. But even in the midst of the celebration, Lyra knew that their work was not done. The galaxy was still a vast and mysterious place, filled with untold wonders and dangers. She knew that humanity and its allies had a responsibility to continue exploring, to continue pushing the boundaries of what was possible. And so, as the star sail set out on its next mission, Lyra looked out at the stars with a sense of renewed purpose. She knew that the road ahead would be long and difficult, but she also knew that they were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. Together, humanity and its allies would continue to explore the vast expanse of the universe, seeking out new worlds, new civilizations, and new frontiers. They would face challenges and obstacles, but they would also discover wonders beyond their wildest dreams. And through it all, Lyra would be there, leading the way with courage, determination, and an unshakable belief in the power of unity and cooperation. She was a beacon of hope and inspiration, a shining example of what humanity and its allies could achieve when they worked together towards a common goal. As the star sails disappeared into the vast expanse of space, ready to face whatever lay ahead, Lyra knew that they were not alone. They were part of something greater, a galactic community united in its desire to explore, to discover, and to push the boundaries of what was possible. And with that knowledge, she knew that anything was possible. The future was bright, and the universe was theirs to explore. As Lyra and her crew made their way back to Earth, they knew that they had a responsibility to share their newfound knowledge with the rest of humanity and their allies. They had seen the wonders and the dangers of the multiverse, and they knew that the galaxy would need to be prepared for whatever challenges lay ahead. Upon their return, Lyra convened a great summit of the galaxy's most powerful and influential leaders. She shared with them the story of their encounter with the architects and the warning they had received about the dangers to come. At first, some were skeptical, dismissing Lyra's tale as the ravings of a mad explorer. But as she presented the evidence and the data they had gathered, more and more began to see the truth in her words. Together, they forged a new alliance, a coalition of civilizations dedicated to the protection and preservation of the galaxy. They pooled their resources and their knowledge, working tirelessly to build new defenses and new technologies that could stand against any threat. Lyra became a key figure in this new alliance, her experience and her wisdom guiding them through the challenges that lay ahead. She continued to explore the galaxy, seeking out new allies and new knowledge that could aid in their cause. Years turned into decades, and the galaxy changed in ways that few could have imagined. New civilizations rose to prominence, while others faded into obscurity. New technologies emerged, transforming the way that life was lived across the stars. Through it all, Lyra and her allies remained vigilant, always watching for signs of the great danger that the architects had warned of. They faced many challenges and many threats, but they always emerged victorious, their unity and their determination seeing them through. And then, one day the danger finally arrived. It came in the form of a great rift in the fabric of space and time, a tear in the very foundation of reality itself. Through this rift poured the forces of chaos and destruction, entities of pure entropy that sought to unmake all that had been created. Lyra and her allies rallied to face this threat, marshaling all the resources and all the knowledge they had gathered over the years. They fought with all their might, pouring their very souls into the battle against the forces of chaos. It was a battle unlike any the galaxy had ever seen, a struggle that raged across dimensions and realities. Lyra and her crew found themselves pushed to the very limits of their endurance, their minds and bodies strained to the breaking point. But in the end, their unity and their courage prevailed. With a final, desperate effort, they sealed the rift, banishing the forces of chaos back to the abyss from whence they had come. The galaxy had been saved, but the cost had been high. Many had fallen in the battle, and the scars of the struggle would linger for generations to come. As Lyra looked out over the stars, she knew that their work was not yet done. The galaxy would always face new challenges and new dangers, and it would always need guardians to stand watch over it. But she also knew that they had the strength and the wisdom to face whatever lay ahead. They had forged a great alliance, a union of civilizations that would stand the test of time. And so, as the star sails once again set out into the vast expanse of space, Lyra knew that they were not just explorers, but the protectors of the galaxy. They would continue to explore and discover, to push the boundaries of what was possible. But they would also stand watch, ready to defend the galaxy against any threat that might arise. For they knew that the fate of all life, of all existence, depended on their courage and their resolve. As the star sails disappeared into the distance, ready to face whatever lay ahead, Lyra knew that they were not alone. They were part of something greater, a galactic community united in its determination to preserve and protect all that they held dear. And with that knowledge, she knew that the future was bright. The galaxy would endure, and the legacy of their struggle would live on for generations to come. So ends the tale of Captain Lyra Wei and the crew of the Star Sails, the guardians of the galaxy who stood against the forces of chaos and emerged victorious. Their story would be remembered and celebrated for all time, a shining beacon of hope and courage in a universe full of wonders and dangers. And though the road ahead would be long, and the challenges many, Lyra knew that they would always be ready to face them, united in their determination to protect and preserve the galaxy they called home.